Behavior problems with our family dog can run the gamut, from serious aggression to common annoying habits. Does your dog jump up on everyone who arrives at the door? Does your dog not come when called? Does the dog pull on the leash, feeling more like he's taking you for a walk? Does the dog bark at every little noise? Your dog's bad manners could be more your fault than his. The good news is, the problem can be corrected. Joining me today is Liam Crowe, the co-founder of Barkbusters, a company whose sole purpose is to humanely train your dog the way that you would like. Thanks for being here, Liam.
G'day, Andy. It's my pleasure.
So, Liam, you are a dog behavior therapist, which means that you understand the way that dogs think. Now, that's the root of most dog behavior problems.
Absolutely. What tends to happen, Andy, is that most people treat the dog like it's a member of the human family, when in fact, he's always going to be a member of the canine family.
So what are some difficulties that people run into when they're trying to train their dogs?
They tend to look at the same way that they would treat their children or their spouses, and it really doesn't work that way in pack law. Dogs have a very simple way of communicating, a very simple way of following leadership. The leader always leads. That's key number one.
So essentially, you are training the owner, not the dog.
Yes, that's our little secret. You know, most owners think that we're coming in to train the dog, and even some people will even send their dog away to be trained. The dog comes back and it's good for about a day. But if they don't follow through on what the dog learned, then it's not going to help them. And the dogs know it. I mean, we can train dogs literally in minutes. It's the owners, and that's really the key to Barkbusters. It's communicating with the owners so they understand in the way and they go, oh, I get it now.
Now, what are some tips to help a person train the dog properly?
Okay, keep it as simple as you can. Have some fun with it. Ignoring attention-seeking behaviour is the highest form of dominance.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So when your dog comes over and gives you a little nudge and drops a bone at your feet and you indulge him or her, you're giving in, and that's a little test, and the dog goes, oh, I just got a point.
So we're going to get to learn all of that today?
Yes, you bet.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be great.
Great.
Liam, I'd like to introduce you to our homeowner, John, and his dog, Keaton.
G'day, John. Pleasure.
Nice meeting you.
G'day, Keaton.
So, John, what are some of the behaviors that you'd like to correct in Keaton?
Well, Keaton's overall a very good dog, but he has a couple major issues. And the biggest thing is when I have company coming over, or anybody at the door for that matter, he just barks and then jumps. And then the second issue is his separation anxiety when I go away for a long period of time. Or maybe not even for a long period of time sometimes. He tends to eat pillows or comforters or things like that. He's gotten better at that, but it's still an issue once in a while.
We've got the destruction. What about barking? Is barking
Sometimes if, you know, whether it's the mailman or just a neighbor coming to the door, yeah.
We can fine-tune that where you can almost have an on and an off switch. Hey, good boy for barking, but that's enough. Thanks, you've done your job. Go and
right,
relax
just let
now.
me know somebody's there. And,
yes,
and that's
yeah, we can work on
yeah.
that too. So what I'm going to talk about today is actually who Barkbusters are, where we came from, the countries we're in, and a little bit about our philosophy as far as training dogs. We are the world's largest dog training company. We started in Australia in 1989. It was started by Danny and Sylvia Wilson. So Sylvia, as the founder of Barkbusters, ran a shelter for 10 years in Australia, and she was really saddened by the fact that people were surrendering their dogs for behavioural problems that she knew she could fix, and unfortunately some of those dogs were being euthanised.
Wow.
I want to talk about how dogs think, how we get into that canine psyche. This is the fun part. We're going to establish and maintain some rules that you can live with. So how do dogs communicate? 4 basic steps. They use body language. What is our dog's body language telling us? There are really 2 things here. We can see dominance and we can see submission, right? The proper body language equals good leadership. Verbal communications equal voice tones. Okay, so use 1 word to communicate in his language. The word we use is spelt B-A-H, pronounced in a low, calm, guttural tone. Ah! Okay, separation anxiety. This is really what we need to practice. You need to separate yourself from him when you're at home. Any questions?
No, let's get going.
Great. So John, what we're going to do is we're going to set up this scene, as we call it, at the front door like we talked about before. What we're going to teach Keaton is that there's a boundary here, an imaginary line just between the kitchen and the lounge room here that he stays behind when people arrive. Watch him, here he goes. Do the correction.
Bah!
Bring him back. Good boy. Instantly tell him good boy.
Good boy. Bah!
Take him back.
Bah!
Take him back to that spot. Good
Come.
boy. See how he's thinking about breaking? I would correct him if he does that again. You can see he's about to launch himself. You praise him. He's looking for that feedback.
Good dog.
Bah. Ask him to sit again. Oh, he's sitting
Good
here.
boy. Good boy.
Notice now he's looking there, but he's also looking at you. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Yeah.
Ah.
Looks at you. Good boy.
Good boy.
Remember, we want his front legs to be in line with your legs. But notice how slow we're going. By going slow instead of running, it's actually mentally stimulating him because he's got to focus on you. I'll let you take him again. Praise him.
Come here, boy.
Praise him.
Good
Lots
boy.
of praise. Tell him he's good.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Oh, you
Okay,
look
stand
tired.
up. Stand up. Love on him.
Good dog. Good
And ask him
dog.
to sit.
Sit.
Good boy.
Liam, that was some great information. I really learned a lot, and I thank you so much for being
It's been
here.
a pleasure to be here, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And to all of you, I hope your space is now a better one for you and your dog. I'm Andy Tillis for Designing Spaces.